without further ado, please put your hands together for somebody who made an absolutely amazing contribution to the entertainers team. Somebody who turned up in the snow wearing a brown coat and wowed the fans from the moment he set foot at St James's Park. Please put your hands together for Colombian international and Newcastle United favourite, Tino Asprilla.
Very important.
Okay, this is Carlos. Carlos is Tino's interpreter, and a big welcome again to the Northeast, lads. Got to start about that original shot of you, Tino, arriving in Newcastle. What were your first impressions? Did Kevin Keegan tell you it was sunny in Newcastle before you arrived?
No, buenas noches. No, que hoy Kylian nunca me habló del clima. Me habló solamente de que quería que yo viniera a Newcastle. Pero cuando llegué acá, lo primero que veo que llovió, salió el sol y después cayó nieve y bueno,
He says, good night to everybody. And the first thing that Keegan said was that the fans were fantastic and that it was a great place to play football. He never mentioned anything to do with the weather. But when he came off the plane, it was a bit sunny. Then after a couple of hours, it was raining, and then during the afternoon, it snowed, and he thought, what the hell, man?
You joined Newcastle United's entertainers. Was it easy to adapt to English football and coming into that team? You know, what was it like to play for Kevin Keegan's entertainers?
Adaptarse es muy difícil, más cuando uno no habla el idioma. Y había menos que me hablaban en Jordi, así que era cada vez mucho más complicado, pero bueno, al final con el fútbol se puede hacer lo que todo bien.
He says, obviously when you come to a different country and you have to adapt not just to the way they play, but to a new language, it makes it more challenging. But once you get on the field, you know, football has no language, and he was able to, you know, show what he could do on the field, and he gained the respect from the other players, which was good for him.
You came on in a game at Middlesbrough, and you weren't supposed to play in that game. The rumour has it that you had a drink of alcohol, a sly whiskey before you played that game. Is that true? And you made a hell of a difference. You created the winning goal against Middlesbrough.
Yo ese partido no, Kiko me dijo que venía solamente a verlo. Después de que estaba aquí me dijo que me cambiara para que jugara el segundo tiempo. Y al final terminé entrando a la cancha. Pero ese día antes del partido sí me tomé una copa de vino porque pensé que no iba a jugar, porque todo se resolvió en la cancha.
Yes, it is true. When Keegan told him, you know, you're coming to the game, but don't worry, you're just going to watch the game and, you know, see the way we play. So Tino had a drink of wine with his meal, and then at half-time Keegan said, Tino, you need to get changed because you're coming on. And Tino was glad his debut came out the way it did, because he came and he resolved well, and, you know, he made the difference in the game.
Yeah, you enjoyed Newcastle United club and you enjoyed Newcastle United clubs. You used to go down to the quayside quite a bit, Tino, and Julie's, who knows? What are your memories of those days?
Así como que mantenía, ¿no?
Says, I did go, but I wasn't there all the time.
Pero sí salía cuando salían los compañeros del equipo. La primera vez que salí, al no manejar el idioma, pues me tocó comprar una calculadora para poder comunicarme con las mujeres.
The first time he came out was very, as soon as he came into the club. So obviously with the new language, he had to go and buy himself a little translator so he could talk to the girls.
Y salimos cuando salíamos casi todos los jugadores, menos Ginola, pero era una época muy linda, aparte porque primero íbamos de primero en el campeonato y después porque éramos muy amigos.
And that night, most of the players were out except Ginola. And it was good because they were top of the league, and everywhere they go, everywhere they went, the people were happy to see them, and they treated them very well.
We couldn't do a question and answer with Tino without talking about that night with Barcelona and that hat trick and Keith Gillespie. What are Tino's memories of that, and does he still hold that in high affection in the games that he's played in his career?
Sin duda fue el partido más importante, creo yo, para mí con la camisa de Newcastle, por lo que significaba jugar en una Champions League más con el Barcelona.
That game was the most important game in Tino's, Newcastle career because of what it meant for the club playing in the Champions League and especially against Barcelona.
Pero ese día yo no me iba a colocar a jugar porque yo había llegado tarde, me tomé un día de vacaciones porque había jugado con la selección Colombia, tenía que regresar el jueves y regresé el día viernes para jugar el sábado.
But Tino wasn't supposed to play that game because he had come late to training because he took one day of holiday after he played with the Colombian team, so Dalglish wasn't happy.
Y yo cuando llegué al estadio yo pensé que no iba a jugar y después me dijeron que yo jugaba y bueno, traté de hacer lo mejor que pude ese día.
So when he came into the changing rooms, he wasn't expecting to be in the starting 11, so when they read the team out, he thought, oh, well, I am playing. And he went on the field and he tried to do his best.
Y ya todos conocen el resultado de ese partido. Muy contento por lo que pasó.
And I think everybody knows what happened during the game, so he feels very proud and honored to play for Newcastle.
Yeah, we're close to that. Great stuff. A night I'll never forget. The two managers, Kevin Keegan, first of all, we've got to do this. We do it in a smaller crowd usually, but it's a big crowd, Tino. Are you up for it? The team talk that Kevin Keegan used to do? You got caught out once doing it.
Kevin Keegan siempre decía lo mismo cuando entraba al camerino, estábamos todos los jugadores sentados y él entraba de una forma especial.
Kevin Keegan used to do the same team talk every game, and it became very repetitive.
Él decía, all right, boys. All right, boys, popping goal. Kicker Lesby left, David Ginola left, Tino and Allon in the front.
I never get sick of hearing that. I love that story. I love it. Kenny Dalglish, I've been speaking to David Ginola today about Kenny Dalglish, and I know what his opinion is, and I'm sure Joe will go into that when he interviews him. What is your opinion of Kenny Dalglish?
Bueno, primero que cuando hablaba inglés como es escocés, no le entendía absolutamente nada.
Well, my first impression when I met him was, what languages he speak? Because that's the language I understood.
Un día en un partido duró media hora explicándome qué era lo que yo tenía que hacer en la cancha y él me hablaba y yo lo entendía. Y a lo último, cuando terminó de hablar, me dijo, ¿tú ya estás? Y yo dije, no, después de 40 minutos.
And there was once, just before a game, he spent 40 minutes talking to Tino, telling him what he had to do on the field. And you know, about 40 minutes later, he goes, Tino, do you understand what I'm saying? And you know, like, no.
Pero, no sé, cuando llegó él creó mucha confusión aquí con todos los jugadores y al final terminaron yéndose la mayoría de los jugadores que había traído Kevin King.
But on a serious note, when he came to Newcastle, he made a lot of conflict in the team and released the best players. And you know what Kevin Keegan had worked hard for, he seems to just come in and made a mess out of it.
Newcastle still has a place in your heart. You come here quite a bit. You do, quite a bit of work with us on the after dinner circuit. What does Newcastle mean to you, and why do you keep coming back here?
Yo vengo acá porque me gusta mantener con fiebre y gripe como estoy en este momento. Cada que llego a Newcastle el frío me...
He says, I come to Newcastle because I like catching a cold every time I come here.
Por fortuna dejé amigos y vengo a visitarlos y me encanta venir acá a visitar a mis amigos, que es lo último o lo mejor que le queda a uno después de retirarse.
He says, well, every time he comes to Newcastle, he sees friends that he used to play with or people that that were close to him when he started in Newcastle. So every time he comes back, he feels the love of the people, and that's one of the reasons he keeps coming back. And he'll always come back as long as he gets that love.
Yeah, a round of applause for that. Great stuff. Final couple of questions about Newcastle now, Tino. I remember sitting at the Arsenal game with you when we drew 4-4. I remember you turning to me when we were 4-0 down, just shaking your head, thinking what on earth is this we'll come to. But they've come a long way since the 4-4 game, consolidated in the Premiership, and now pushing hopefully for Champions League. Have you watched much of Newcastle this season, and do you think they're good enough for the Champions League next year if they do manage to qualify?
Eso es lo que esperamos todos, de que Newcastle termine en puestos de Champions League. Se lo merece por la ciudad, por los hinchas y porque todos estamos haciendo fuerza para que vuelvan el próximo Champions League.
He says he thinks Newcastle obviously deserves to be in the Champions League, and the team seems very confident, and if they carry on playing the way they are now, they should definitely get in the season. And it's not just about them. I think we all deserve to be in the Champions League for the fans and just for the people.
Yeah, great stuff. And how do you think the team of 95-96 compares to this team? It's a question everybody's asking. Do you think the team with Tino and Ginola could beat the team with Cisse and Ben Arfa?
One moment.
What? Is he
Hello?
still a...
It's Royal Jacob.
All right, okay.
Another question.
Barron, you've got Cisse and Ben Arfa, Ginola and Tino, 95-96 team, 2011-2012 team. Which is the best team?
El equipo de ahora es un equipo práctico, pero el equipo de nosotros era fantástico.
Says the team, the current team is very effective, but the team that Tino used to play for was entertaining, and it was just fantastic to watch the way they play.
We'll take two questions from the floor before we do the first auction and then bring David Ginola on. If you've got any questions, table 20. What were your thoughts when you went to Darlington?
No sabía que me estaba metiendo la boca el león.
He says he didn't know he was going to the end of his life when he met him. He didn't know what he was. He didn't know he was in front of the biggest criminal around.
Yo no conocía a John Reynolds y me trajo por muchas mentiras, me prometió muchas cosas y al final no todo lo que me prometió no me lo cumplió y terminamos alejados.
He said, when George Reynolds spoke to him, he made a lot of promises. But when Tino came to speak to him, all them promises were just lies. So that's why it didn't work out between the two of them.
Anybody else? Can I see? Table 18. We'll come to you, John, for the last question. Table 18 now. Your favourite goal for Newcastle?
Dicen tan poquitos que creo que ustedes siguen Barcelona.
Because he didn't score that many, probably the 3 against Barcelona.
Okay, John, what's your question? Can you still do a somersault?
Dile que las hago en la cama y empieza con mi novia.
Come on, Tino, come on.
He says he can only do it in his double bed with his girlfriend.
On that note, please be upstanding and give him a song, Tino.
The Frenchman that is David Ginola! David Ginola!
¿Lista?
Oh, and
Bonjour.
this one is better. Much better. We have to sit down or we
You
stay?
can stand if you want, but it'll be the longest you've been on your feet for a while.
It's gonna be a tough night, guys.
Not for you, by the way, because David, it's not for you because you're absolutely adored here, and thank you.
He's got a question.
Here's the script. Mind you, Steve Wraith goes on a lot, doesn't he? David, bye, wasn't it great to see Tino? Wasn't it great to see Tino here, everybody? Round of applause for Tino!
Before we start, I need to say something about Tino, because I think he forgot a few things to say to you, to be honest, really honest. When I signed for the club, I was living in Woolsington, next door to the airport. I'm pretty sure you know the place. Tino was living literally 300 yards from me. And I remember when he signed for the club, Keegan went to me and said, David, can you make sure Tino is home by 11? So I was not checking out every night, but he did. Because once in a while I received phone calls around midnight, and he used to say, David, can you come to my place? I've got some problems. So got my wife and the kids, and I went in the car with my pajamas, driving the car to see him. And then I arrived to his place. It was like lights everywhere, cars on the grass. And I opened the door, and it was like, 60, 70 people dancing, and the music was. And he was there. I said, David, I can't get rid of those people. Can you just tell them in English to get off? So it was something special. I don't know if you got this these days, but it was a great time to play football. Obviously, we didn't have the Bosman rules, so it was only a few foreigners per team, and we were playing with Geordies. No, that's very important, because I remember the team we used to have players like Lee Clark, Steve Wanson, Robbie Elliott. They used to Alan Shearer, and they used to speak in the dressing room with this Geordie accent, and I think this make the whole of the game. I mean, I'm French, obviously. I was adopted, I was accepted, first of all, in England. Here in Newcastle, Newcastle United gave me the opportunity to taste the English Premier League, so I want to say thank you very much for that. And because my English wasn't great at the time, still not great, but make some effort. It was really, really good to have a taste of what the Northeast was. I really enjoy walking in Whitley Bay, Bambo Castle with the family. Obviously, I'm from Saint-Tropez, you know, so it's a pretty bad place. Weather is shite. So when I arrived there, I remember some people, they say, "Oh, David, you're in the Northeast, but you're from Saint-Tropez." I say, "Yeah, well, I was born there a few years ago." And it's a great place. So, how you do? I don't understand what you're doing there. I mean, as I say, well, listen, this is all about football, and people, you are great. Listen, you are great. You are like our people in the north. You are very passionate, and this is what life is all about. It's about passion, it's about love, it's about giving back. So when we have players who are talking about, well, okay, there's a lot of money involved in football, but the respect is to give back something, and at least I hope I give something back to you. Okay, now we start.
That's my fucking job over there, isn't it? There's a lad from fucking a council estate in Gator who fucking, I was on the Jeremy Kyle show, and he's mentioning Saint-Tropez. Right, here we go. Because we will have any time, because at this time of the night, because you've been very, very patient, everybody, and you've been a brilliant audience, and Steve Wraith went on. But any questions that you want, just if you put a hand up and I see it, you can just come, because I've got some set questions. Oh, that was quick. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Go on. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, what do you want? Harry Potter's got a question. Go on, Harry. Stand up, mate. Stand. Oh, you are. Oh, no, you are. There you go. I don't know. Where do you get your hair cut? From a firework. Right, here we go. Shh. Is it true that David used to sneak off and have a sly cigarello in the sauna or the toilet at St James's Park? David? He's just a 10 up there.
I will not tell you everything I've got at halftime, but I got some funny stories. I will tell people when I will reach 80 or 90 years old, if I get this age. Yeah, I used to. I got a story about the cigarettes, because
he's a wizard. He'll find you.
I realize people in in England, they don't smoking much. It's better.
That's better for you. Because you've only got a soft voice.
I hate this man. I remember, I think it was the second game of the season. We played Sheffield Wednesday away, and we had a very...
You've got to do that.
Fuck you.
Spit it.
So it was the second game of the season, I guess.
That's what half the audience said.
Shut up, you! And we won the game, and we had a fantastic start of the season. And I finished the game. I scored my first goal for Newcastle. And I used to have a cigarette after the game, not half time. That's not true. You know, this is something people like to tell, but it's not true. I quite respect that. But after a game, I like to have my glass of wine and my cigarette. It's part of the French, well, yeah, put it that way. And I went back to the coach and I lighted up a cigarette, and I was at the back having a cigarette, and we won, and we were very happy. And all the players, they turned at me and they looked and said, "David, you can't smoke in the coach." I said, "Why?" I said, "Because we don't smoke in England." Okay, so they called, Gaffer, David is smoking. I said, you are kids. So Kevin Keegan went, you know, he just said a few words. He said, "David, I don't mind if you smoke cigarettes after a game, but if you don't mind to have it outside the coach." So I said, "No problem." I didn't see myself as a dad, as a father, as a husband, as a man, hiding myself having a cigarette. I mean, it's part of it. So I guess everybody's got, you know, his own faults. Yeah, I've got mine. I got plenty. I got more than that. Put it that way. No. I'm not going that far.
Right. Oh, come on, because we like the audience to get involved, because it would be boring. Somebody say, "Yes, thank you very much. One of the loose women's there." Yeah. Table 7 as well. My lucky number. And lucky wall lasses here. Go on. The young lady on table 7 asked David, because he's a wine connoisseur, on where to buy the best wine.
A winemaker.
A winemaker. And David's wife. I was going to say, because I've got
The woman tell you that.
Bonjour, mon père. My father. Right.
Okay, the question
so
was.
give them the question. Yeah.
Let me do it.
You're doing good.
So you want
Football
to start the wine, you had the chance to taste it. Yeah. No. You did phone number. Okay, and you give me time between 3 and 5. Okay. No, I mean the wine is fantastic. I was brought up in these kind of surroundings, and my dad used to took me to you know, vineyards every Saturday. So I was brought up in a kind of countryside environment, and obviously when you live after into football in big cities, and you get away from all that. So I decided to, in a way, to go back to my roots. So I decided to make my own things and trying to bring it to England. But competition is quite hard in England, because you got big dealers, like, you know, big names. They want to squeeze the price. So it's always, you know, a question of economical side. So I don't want to go into it. So you like it or not? It's take it or leave it. So that's it. So you're gonna have a bottle, that's for sure. You give me your address and I will send it to you.
Yeah. There you go. With a name like his surname, you would have thought he would have like Gin Ola. Right, are you aware that Sydney, this is question number 4, that's quick, I know that. That was the Spanish Gin Ola. Are you aware that you single-handedly introduced a generation of all these northeast loose women to the. When I did this with Tom Jones, the niggas used to come on. To the joys of football and the greatest heartthrob since Gerard Depardieu. Oh, sorry. Greatest heart, sorry, I mean Sacha Distel. Are you aware of that?
Funny enough, you talking about Sacha Distel. I don't know if I have to say I had a chance to do. You know the program called Star in the Eyes. I'm pretty sure you know that. They asked me to do something on Star in the Eyes for Christmas show, and my first pick was Harry Connick Jr. singing the Recipe to Make Love. I mean, it was a nice song. So the producer came to the flat and back in London, and he said, David, can you just start a little bit? So, a little bit of me and a whole lot of you. It was a kind of things, and he said, well, it doesn't sound very American. I said, no, I'm French. It's obvious, you idiot. And he said, oh, I'd rather do something more like Sacha Distel stuff. I said, oh, never heard about Sacha Distel before. I say, what are you thinking about? And he said, what about raindrops keep falling on my head? And I said, okay, so I start to learn the words, and we plan to record this program. And so I went up to Manchester, and I start raindrops keep falling on my head. And but the things I didn't know, they dressed me as Sacha Distel back in 1982 with the wig, the suit, very nice, the shoes, and I have to sing with 6 dancers, girls, with umbrellas and rains falling from the roof, the ceiling, and it was special. It was really funny, but I'd rather play football, you know. Singing it, I will not sing, don't ask, I will not.
Brilliant stuff. Danny Willis. Young lad, tell you what, I used to play with him when I was a Bobby, he brought us up.
I know he's got a question, this one.
Come on, Danny.
For Gerard Houllier, Kenny Dalglish, and that bloke from Aston Villa who used to dye his hair, who was the best manager who you played under?
Have you talked to this man?
No. I played with him when we were 14
You know what?
and I've never seen him since.
That's a very good question.
What's the question we have to say?
The question is...
Sorry, apart from
Gerard
Houllier, Kenny Dalglish,
and the bloke from Aston Villa with the
and the bloke of Aston Villa with the dyed hair,
John Gregory,
who was David's favourite player out of them 3. Kevin Keegan, I would have fucking thought.
Yeah, but he's not mentioned.
No, I know that. But he's still the fucking best manager, isn't he?
Well, talking about the 3 of them, Gerard Houllier, I don't really mind, you know. I don't want to think about what happened in the past too much. You know, they got their stories, they got their problems. I'm over that. When Kenny Dalglish signed for the club, obviously with Kevin Keegan, it was like a love story with you, with the fans. I never saw someone like Kevin Keegan was so close to the people. He was an example for me. I was 26 years old. I remember once we left Durham County University, we used to train there. And we used to take the coach traveling down to Southampton, all the different games we have to play. And it was ladies, when I say ladies, 70, 75 years old, coming to say hello and good luck. And it was really nice. And I was watching Kevin Keegan. So once it was an old lady coming to say bye-bye, but she was quite late. So we were leaving, so he stopped the coach. and he went down and he hugged and he gave her a kiss, and I said, wow, this is not something you see these days anymore. This is the kind of things sharing with people, you know, hugging, touching, because footballers, they are, my taste, they are too far away from us. I mean, you need to get back on the ground, you know. Football is just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. So you have to be close to people. So to answer the question, obviously when Kenny Dalglish took over, it was a bit of a shock for me because that was not the same person, that wasn't the same kind of mentality, and I don't think he was the guy who could take the club to the top. After the first season we had, with the players we've got at the time, it was such a pleasure every day in training, every Saturday away. St. James was magnificent. With Kenny Dalglish, we had an argument. So you know what I said to him once? He didn't. When he signed, he wanted to get rid of all the foreigners from Kevin Keegan. So I don't know if I will say it properly in English, but I'll try. He said he didn't play me much, and I said something in the paper after a game because I was frustrated, and I said, listen, in that case, to stay at Newcastle in that condition, we'd rather leave. And other things as well with my relationship with Kenny Dalglish, and the following day with training, he said, okay, I need to talk to you. Well, I don't want to talk to you, I want to talk to you, David. I say, you can't talk in a paper like this, and I say, you treat me like I was having an affair with your wife. And he said, what are you saying? And I said, yeah, it's exactly that. But what have I done to you? Nothing. Nothing at all. You don't talk to me, you don't look at me. I'm transparent. I'm just, you know. So he was the kind of person that didn't like to talk, and me, I like to talk. I like to, you know, it's
Embrace. What a top man, by the way. What a great answer. That's from the heart. Just before the next question from the floor, big mention, by the way, to our sponsor tonight, Holler Watches and Darren McCormick Jewelers, right? Who's been, I think they really need a massive round of applause, by the way, for bringing David and Tino Asprilla here tonight. Massive. His question is, David, Liverpool, the 4-3 game, has been remembered as the greatest Sky game in the last 20 years. You played in the game. Did you feel it was as good of a game as that you played in? Or what's your thoughts on
that? This particular season was really complicated because obviously at one stage we got 12 points ahead, everyone. We were fighting against Liverpool and Man United. This game was very important. Obviously, playing Anfield Road, Liverpool, they were a great team at the time. You know, challenging to get back on the track and you know to try to catch us. We were flying, and obviously we start the game thinking, well, we're gonna win there. And we were going to show everyone that Newcastle United is not just a team who can do sometimes very well, but can be very consistent on the weekly basis. And it was quite special in a way because we had the game in our hands and we lost it, and we got 3 goals. Scoring 3 goals at Liverpool is quite good. It's not bad. But we conceded 2 goals in the last few minutes, and it was a bit of a shock. And we started to think that teams can beat us, and we're starting to lose confidence. And I think this is when we started to lose the title. And it was a complicated season, and I feel ashamed not for me, because obviously we are players, but I'm feel ashamed somehow for the fans, because you really deserve that. And this season, they really deserve to get something at the end, and we did it. And that was a bit of a shock for everyone, but players, you know, they can play for another club and win again. So, but you're always there. You're always sitting at St. James Park, and this was for you. I mean, Kevin Keegan was really annoyed, and I think we did some silly mistakes at the back. We lost some concentration sometimes, and when you want to be the top of the league and stay until the end, you need to be really consistent, and silly goals not allowed.
Very, very honest stuff. Brilliant stuff. Right, just getting back on a high point.
But
5-0.
it was a great game. I have to admit, it was a great game.
Right, 5-0 Man United the next season. Sweet revenge.
It's just a football game, you know. Football games. I was talking about football, and I say to the youngest, football, it's a game. No matter people think about, no matter how much money you earn weekly, it's just about, think about when you were young. Think about when you were young and playing with your friends in the streets, and it's exactly the same. The only thing, you got more pressure, games are more stressful, and this game was a joy to play. It was just a joy to score, to see just the happiness around after the game in town, people in pubs, just being so proud to be Newcastle United fans. And I guess that's what football is all about. It's about a mix of feelings and understandings between players, staffs, fans. And in this game, we got everything. We got the goals, we got the joy of beating Man United 5-0, we got the happiness of the fans, and I'm pretty sure you had a nice week after that.
Yes. Very candid opinions, by the way. I've worked with everybody from like the likes of Mike Tyson, right, to David, who was one of the most honest lads. I said to him upstairs, "What do you want to talk about?" He says, "Joe, talk to me about anything you want." By the way, that's nice, isn't it? Right, fella? Right said Fred. To about 20 here. What a great question that is. David, there's been a rumour, I think what our friend has, that there was a bid from none other than Barcelona in 1996. One, is it true or false? Did Keegan say no, he didn't want you to leave the football club?
He actually said no to Bobby Robson. It was funny.
How much was the bid?
I will tell you. Don't take
Because
your
I wanna
time.
fucking
Be
know.
patient. You know, it's
In 1996, I was playing for Port Vale.
listen. You
I went for a set of strips.
just take your time.
Okay, pal.
Be patient.
You're lovely. Good man.
You will enjoy it.
I love it. Come on. Let the go be desert.
It was the end of the season. I was back in my house in the south of France, having my summer break for 3 weeks. It's not a big deal, but and I received a phone call. It was quite weird. I had this Geordie accent on the phone, and it was, "Oh, David, is Bobby Robson. Okay, I want to sign you at Barcelona." I said, "Is it a joke? I mean, no, it's a joke." He said, no, listen, I'm just telling you that I'm going to make an offer to Newcastle, and it's just to tell you, that's it." Okay. So I got a phone call from Kevin Keegan 2 hours later, say, David, I got an offer from Barcelona for £7 million. Well, it doesn't sound a lot, but back in 1997, it was a lot of money. And he said, I will refuse it. So they went up to £12 million, and Keegan, he said, David, I need to talk to you privately. And I said, yeah, no problem. He said, I'm in contract with you, so it's up to you guys. And he said, David, you're doing well for us. I think the fans love you. If I let you go, I think they're gonna kill me. So I want to leave, and you're gonna stay with us. And this is how the things ended. So it was a nice story because obviously I'm a Latin guy myself. I'm close to the Mediterranean, and you know, all the things I like is about olive oil and sunshine, and you know, girls with tiny skirts. Why are you laughing? It's true. I'm telling the truth. I mean, but I really enjoy playing for you guys, and I don't have any regrets with that. Well, that's my answer.
Great answer. Claire, who was Darren's better half from Hollow Watchers, Darren McIntosh Jewellery, if anybody wants to buy stuff, it's all out there in the foyer. I'll tell you one thing, she has asked, European Nights returned in 1997 at St James's Park. You scored against Fenerbahce. Say that again, Joe, that was good.
Ferencváros.
That's it. Say I haven't got the French Turkish on us.
I'm his translator.
Was that the best? All right, fucking hell, you always get them, didn't you, heckling? I didn't heckle you when you're selling the big issue. They'd never go at me, will you? I'm trying to do a turn and ain't kid, have I? Right, okay, kid. Best goal in a black and white shirt, was that it? Or have you got a favourite goal better than that one? That's from Claire from Hollow Watchers.
I've got a son of 20 years old, and he's got friends at the house in London the other day, and he said, Dad, can you, I want to show my friends the things you've done, because obviously I retired 10 years ago, and some of them, they haven't been able to see anything, well, a little bit. And I said, okay, so you go on YouTube and you check some stuff, and they reckon that this one against Veracruz is probably the best one, because the way you done it, you know, to flip over the defender and destroy it was really nice. What I'm saying, I was saying always the same thing about this goal. When I finished the game, it was like having, how can I say that in English? When it happened,
hard on.
It was, yeah, I had a hard on, but later on, I will tell you when.
All right, I've had one for the last fucking 45 minutes.
No, it's like, you know, why football is so nice when you are a footballer, and when you have a chance to score a goal like that, is when you receive the ball, you forgetting everything around, the noise, the people around, and you got like surrounding around by a bubble, and when you strike the ball and you go and hit the net, this is when you like wake up. And after the game, when you go back to the dressing room, it's like you never leave this moment. So it's like an act of, I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but what I miss in my life these days is that kind of moment, because you will never get it back.
Yes, sir. You've been very patient tonight, thank you.
What happened with the French national side?
What year? What happened to the fucking French army? The question was, what happened to the French national side? David, I think he means about the World Cup with that
I know exactly what you mean. Well, it was not only me, you know, we had my generation where, including Cantona, myself, Desailly, Laurent Blanc, other great players, and I think really great players. We didn't have the chance to win anything with the national team, so it was kind of a lost generation. And this is why they started to think about having new players, getting new players on board, and thinking about the World Cup in '98. They done pretty well because they won the World Cup in '98. So I have nothing to say about that.
David, I'm just going to press you.
It's just football. You know.
Yeah, I'm just going to press you because they went through a transitional period, the French side, and now at Newcastle United, and this is from Christine from Hollow Watchers, Darren McCormick Jewellery, has asked, what do you make of our particular French players, as in Hatem Ben Arfa, Johan Cabaye, Oberton, Marvaux, and Abiyed?
Was the only one in '95. Well,
our current team now.
Well, your current team is honestly, and they are doing pretty well. I mean, it's really nice to see Newcastle doing so well.
Do you rate Ben Arfa?
Well, Ben Arfa he's still a very young player. Obviously, he's got a very bad injury, and he's just recovering from that. And when I saw
the goal the other week.
Well, the goal the other week, and the goal he will score for you in the next few weeks. That's the most important things. Ben Arfa, I saw him playing for Marseille. I thought it was a few years ago now, and I said to the people on TV, I said, this young man, he's got since Zidane, he's the most skillful player we've got in France. But when you're a young man, this is very important. When you're a young man, you have to get the best of your skills and your ability. You need to get a nice and good surroundings. People around you will give you the right advice about what you need to do in life outside football, the things you should do and the things you shouldn't do. Football is very simple. We need to be effective on the Saturday, not on the Tuesday morning in training. So to be effective on Saturday, you need to have a perfect life during the week. So if you're going out every night and drinking, you know, paints and eating grease, and every day you're eating fish and chips. I got a great story about fish and chips.
Was it upstairs?
No. The one upstairs was fine. I think the one downstairs as well. But I was playing for Paris for 4 years, and we had a medical staff. You know, we were on diet and eating pasta, no butter, just olive oil and rice, chicken breast, just fish, things like that. When I signed for Newcastle, the first journey we had, we went down to Sheffield Wednesday. No, it was probably the second one. It was a longer one. We went to Southampton. On the way down, on the coach, we had. It was a bit of a shock for me, as a culture shock. We had only fools and horses. Del Boy, Rodney, Trigger, Peckham and Mandela House, everything. So, by the way, I've got the whole series at home now. We had only fools and horses, Sid the Sexist, 4-2, fantastic. I didn't understand a word. But everybody on the coach were laughing, so I laughed. Just to make myself understood. We had jelly beans, we had chocolate bars, we had other things, but the funny thing is on the way back, we played the game, and on the way back, I saw Terry McDermott was, you know, asking the players with a piece of paper and said, fish and chips or chicken and chips? Because on the way back, something I didn't know is we are stopping the coach in
Weatherby Wheeler.
And we had these fish and chips in newspapers with the grease, and we had to eat with the hands, with the vinegar and salt. And I said to myself, well, that's something special. But I like it a lot, but it was like, I like the fish and chip with only foods and horses. That was really English.
Yes, young lady at the back, thank you very much for being very kind. Sorry. Could you stand up? Yeah, thank you. Say it again. Shout out. Ah, right. Here we go. They're having a pop at you now, they love you, but I am a football and a film star. Because you're worth it, pet. Do you still use L'Oreal?
That very much like. No,
Yes, sir. Young man in the left-hand corner. Well done. Stand up. All right. I said the young man, but the old fucker will do. Go on, son. Great effort. How was McFly? Brilliant when you were in McFly. I loved you. Got to lose a bit though. Come on. Question. Right, he's played for a lot of Premiership clubs, and he's on about the Premiership fans. What give him the most? I think it's a no-brainer, the question, to be fair, but wearing that shirt was a no-brainer as well. Was it Aston Villa, Tottenham or Newcastle?
You heard the question, no? Well,
It'd be a bad fucking idea now to say Spurs.
No.
You know what we did when we done them on the wall?
Shut up, you tart.
Hello.
It's difficult to say because my problem, every single club I played for, it was always a nightmare to leave the club. But it was the only reason is because I had a relationship with the fans that were just brilliant. So I played for Paris for 4 years, and when I left Paris, I was the prince in Paris. And the chairman, Michel Denisot from Canal+, he said, David, I can't let you go. I said, but I can't stay anymore. So we had to find a solution. Newcastle was the same. I had the same, Sir John Ho I met at lunchtime was my hero at the time, and still a great person. I think it was probably the best chairman Newcastle United ever had. In terms of passion, he's the man who understood that coming from Paris, born in the south of France, being dropped in the northeast, you need a bit of help, people talking to you and making you understand what life is all about in the northeast, discovering tradition and talking about the people, the language and everything. So I said, I will say Newcastle, no, it's not because I'm Newcastle. I will probably say Tottenham as well because I was player of the year at Tottenham, and the season, the 1999 season was really special. Man United won the treble. I was voted player of the year by my peers. I mean, it is always something special to be recognized by your peers. Anything you do in life, I wish you to be recognized as the best by your peers.
Fabulous stuff. Oh, we've got the Golden Girls at the back. The Golden Girls want to cry. Ah, the Golden Girls are there. Oh no, it's Cash for Gold. Cash for Gold. Tits good. Said the second. Oh, I said, how are we?
Here we go. Now we're talking.
Cash for Gold. How about one good question? How about shh? Say that one again. Oh, you're making a movie?
Any more movies?
Any more movies? Do you want the extras? Fucking hell.
I understood.
We're gonna need the cows and pigs.
I heard you, love.
You fucking
Yeah.
went on all night, you lot. I tell you, that table, that Leigh Jackson's table, I tell you, went on all night. Madams. The husband's the best black and white in the world. Right, David, come on.
So I had the opportunity to do movie. We shot the movie in Romania. It was with a few English actors and Billy Zane and Michael Madsen, and it was one of the first experience. Yeah, I know. I was a sniper, a German sniper during the Second World War. I was killing everyone. I was having sex with all the ladies. It was a good experience. As the first one.
Could have been worse, you could have played for fucking Hartlepool. Anyway, right, next, last couple of questions because we're going to get on the job. Thank you very much, and table 9. Yes. No, but I would. He's not drinking. Yes, sir. Go on. Love your outfit. You lived in the northeast of England for 2 years, David. What was your best memory from living in the greatest place in the world, the northeast of England, apart from Sunderland?
I got a few stories about the northeast, but I would say
keep them dirty. Keep them dirty.
Walking in the metro center during a rainy day with the family. Going to visit my first experience of a Sunday English meal in a pub in Whitley Bay. That was something special. I went up to Whitley Bay because the physio, Derek, he told me, David, if you want to see a nice place, you go to Whitley Bay with the family, you're going to enjoy it. Okay. So, I'm not here to compare, every single place are different, they are all different, and I'm not comparing, but I drove my car there, I had a Range Rover, so I went up there, we parked the car, and we started to walk, and I said, it was in August, so it was a beautiful sunny day, and I saw some people, they play volleyball in the water, but because you have the tide, it was 300 yards from the shore, so I said, well, played the game yesterday night. I'm exhausted, so we have to, the kids, they were, oh, come on, Daddy, we go. So I put a swim trunk and everything because I saw people in the water, and I thought it was nice. So we walked for 300 yards towards the water, and the people, they were really enjoying it, and they were water, and they were splashing all over the place, and I said, well, that must be really nice. So when I reached the water, I put one feet, and I say, well, kids, I think it's better to go back and we're gonna play volleyball on the shore. That's the one to get here. So straight after that, we went to a nice pub. It was a really nice pub, and when they saw me, and they said, "Oh, Ginola, we had a really nice a Sunday meal. I mean, roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, and the fabulous French beans. I don't know why you say French beans. They're not French." I never understood that. There's a mange tout, Dave, mange tout. We eat mange tout. Okay, the French beans. They're lovely, but I hate them anyway. So we had this, and they said, Mr. Ginola, how do you like your meat? And I say, well, I like my meat rare. I like to eat rare because this is the French way we eat. We like the meat, the rare meat, even uncooked. And the guy. I'm laughing because he wanted to do so well, so well. He arrived with a nice plate, we got everything. Everything was fantastic, except the meat. It was that thick, and it was like that hard. And he said, "Oh, Mr. Jean, do you like it?" I said, "It's fantastic. I love it." So it was a great experience. So just to answer, with Lebe, it was great. Bambo Castle, sometimes spend, around town. You have a nice place anyway. So now it's a bit different. I remember some time spent in a big market. Wasn't that nice, especially on a Saturday around 2:30 in the morning. It was pretty special.
Well, it was nice to catch up with the players then, wasn't it? I'm still trying to get over the Speedo trunks and everybody splashing. That wasn't just the...
Spend the whole night there if you want, huh?
Yeah, we'll have a little bit more time with the people, because we've got loads of questions. No, but Danny's got to do some things with you first, but we've got a couple of questions from... Because I never looked around this end of the... Has any questions? No, come on, there's got to be one or two.
Once
yes, thank you very much. Come on. No, the little lad there, Shrek. Shrek, come on in. Stand up, mate, because I can't hear you. So when we were 12 points clear and Kevin Keegan went on the TV and said, "I love it if we beat them, I'd love it." I think that's what he meant. How did it make you feel?
Fucking love it.
I love it. Love it. Thank you very much for the question from Joe Pasquale. I love it if we beat them, I fucking love it.
No, it's just...
Right, on the right hand side, left hand side, sorry, David, we'll finish on that one. Oh, you will answer that one? Oh, you've got an answer?
I just want to say something about... He has a question.
Sure.
The least we can do is just to answer it. It's just... when he said that, actually, we were in the dressing room and we heard the noise outside because he was talking to the TV, but it was just outside the dressing room door. And he was shouting very loud, and we didn't know what happened, so we went out because we thought he was fighting with people, so we wanted to help. So we just opened the door, and he was talking, "Fucking love it, Gaffer, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, Jack, you said you fucking..." That's about passion.
Brilliant answer, thank you. Take on the left hand side, thank you. Come here, Harry Potter.
When you joined Newcastle, you were in Saint-Germain, obviously. There was a rumour before you arrived that the part of the deal for you coming to Newcastle was as a sort of a peace deal between Newcastle and Saint-Germain or George Weir's transfer. Do you have any comment or feedback on
I haven't, honestly, I haven't heard about that. And I have no clue about what you're talking about. I mean, George Weah was linked with AC Milan. When he left Paris, I was linked with Newcastle United. George was my partner up front at Paris. Nothing else to say because I have nothing else to say about that.
I'll take some from the top end there. Thanks very much. Yeah. One of the best games that you ever saw you play was against Arsenal. What do you think that you played against Lee Dixon? What was your best game that you ever played for the greatest club ever?
I was red carded against Lee Dixon. Sorry?
the week before you got red carded, you played excellent against him.
Yeah.
Why did you say the red missed against him? Is it because he's a fat little cockney twat? Or do you really like him?
Why I was red carded?
Why you were red carded? What did you do? Don't say I'll pinch some wine off
It's
you.
funny because I had the clue of that a year ago. We'd done something on BBC with Lee Dixon much of the day, and it's always nice to see each other after. No, I didn't say cockney. I just said
Cockhead. Lee Dixon is a cockhead.
You know, he's a very tough opponent. Always been very tough to beat anyway. But during this game, I tried to make my move forward, and he grabbed my shirt, and I punch him in the jaw, and boy, there's something funny out of it. I was red carded, but you know what he said a year ago? He said, David, by the way, you know, the things happened many years ago. I lost a tooth during the game when you hit me with your elbow. And when we finished the game, the whole players went back on the pitch to find It's true. It's right. They found it, and it was very dark.
Right, come on, last couple there. Yeah, thank you very much for being very patient on Horrocks' table. I think top man there. Go on. Great question, David. It's very difficult when you've played for a club and loved for a football club so much as what you did, and very successful in the years that you had and the seasons that you had. But how did it feel for you to play against a club that these people worship you? You're an idol here. You're an icon.
You don't want to play the game. You're in the dressing room and you think you're in the wrong dressing room. Because when you go back to St. James Park with Tottenham was the case when I went back the first time to St. James Park. I even made myself in the wrong dressing room. I went back to the home side dressing room. I said, David, it's the other way. Okay, so it's very weird. It's hard, it's complicated, it's really complicated because the relationship you got with people, even when you arrive and you see the doorman, you see the kit man, you see everyone, and you've been involved with them. And, you know, you got some great relationship with them as well, and that's the wrong part of football. I would rather sign for a club forever and be in love with the same people forever. That's my dream.
Just the last group from Holler, because Danny's going to do the auction and David's going to stop here, and we'll probably have a little bit repartee, but we've got a lot to get through because the Stroke Association's obviously very important to tonight. Your favourites, David, if I was going to ask you, so I'm putting you under some now, and steak or king prawns?
Say that again.
Steak or king prawns? Who do you want this to be? Should I be?
My son is half English. He was watching the other
So
night.
one more answer.
No, you got the answer. You got the answer with that. And he said that you have to watch that. He's a guy, a funny guy, do like comedies. I think he's a Cockney guy. He's talking about prawn cocktail. And back in the 80s, apparently it was really nice for a man to invite a lady and to offer a prawn cocktail. And prawn cocktail was really nice. So I will go for a prawn cocktail as a starter and a nice steak, because French people, we eat meat, hot meat.
Well, funny enough, that's a double-edged answer because in 1975, we as men used to like the prawn cocktail, and the ladies used to like the meat. Anyway, it's a one-word answer. Rangers or Celtic? Rangers or Celtic?
No.
Come on, Ginola. Come on, Ginola.
That's a real problem. That's a real problem. Because if you like women, as a man, you like meat. It's not the other way around. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Right, Rangers or Celtic? Rangers.
Before, my answer is not yes or no, because before I signed, I
It's
got.
just your favourite, you don't have to worry about it.
Before I got a chance to sign for Newcastle United, I was in the office of Fergus McCann at Celtic. Signed, you know, the contract was on the table to sign the contract with Celtic, and I said no. I want to taste the English Premier League first. So that's why I went to Newcastle, and I decided not to. So I will say Celtic because I make an offense somehow.
Sinatra or Elvis? Sinatra or Elvis?
That's a killer. That's a killer. I love them both. I mean,
Do the show.
This is a killer because
It's ridiculous.
obviously, it depends the moment. I would love to dance on Elvis, but I would love to have a romance on Sinatra.
Red wine or white wine?
Both, the same meal. Starting with the white, carry on with the red, and finishing with the sweet one with the dessert. You don't and you can't get only one wine. You have the taste of everything. You have to taste everything, Joe, in life. Every single thing.
Holler watches or the other two bob watches that's knocking around in the market? It's gotta be. It's gotta be Holler watches, isn't it? No, I'll answer. No, right. Last one. Sunderland Football Club or a tsunami? Hold on, I'll answer it. Oh, or a tsunami. Yeah. A tsunami. They're both natural born fucking disasters, son. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand you over to Danny Mitchell to do the audience, but I'll tell you what, put your hands together. He's been magnificent value, and he is a legend and icon, and one of the very best men that you'll ever see in a Newcastle United shirt. The legend that is David Ginola